Oh, I messed up. Oh well. What can I do? What can I do? Nothing. So technically, we have 8 minutes. Can you hear my laptop? All the times for it to get loud. Can you hear that over me? Wait. Boo. Hopefully it's not that loud. Okay. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Okay, so pretty much I have a script. I wrote it down and it's on WhatsApp, and that's what's linked. Then my link tree, and this is linked where I'm just pretty much just gonna read and like clarify everything that I thought. So I accidentally made rage bait on TikTok, so I'm here to explain myself. I have the luxury of watching Hulu with ads, and one of the ads that kept playing was the one for Dogman because the movie came out, I think, either a week or two ago, so they were promoting it. The first time I watched it, I did not care. The second time I watched it, something caught my ear, and by the third time, something was triggered in my mind, right? So I made a TikTok. Well, I recorded 5 and then posted the mellow version. I was trying to make a joke about something that deeply bothered me about Dogman, and I think it would have translated better had I gone over the top. And maybe it's just, or maybe it wasn't funny. I really do realize that like sometimes like I have a joke. I know something can be funny. I just have to workshop it. So, um the point being, I don't get off on angering people, and my primary goal is to make people laugh. I'm a habitual people pleaser. Hi. Though I do make videos about religion, it's not to conjure up anger, but to show that, oh wait, yeah, I can't. Yeah. Hello. Though I make videos about religion, it's not really to make people angry. It's more so to like knock on the mind and go, hey, like something's not clicking. I think media literacy in America didn't die. It was just forced into this world, sickly and not fully developed. So yeah, that's something that I constantly pick at, but not to anger people. Not really. Um, I'm currently unpacking this, but I think people don't listen to me, and I understand that my communication skills are, yeah, I like Brazil. I'm so sorry that your dog died. Oh my God, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, um, I'm actually very sorry that your dog died. I don't know the plot of Dogman, and I might want to look into it, but also I feel like it's too late for me. Too late. But I'm currently unpacking this, but I don't think people listen to me. I understand that my communication skills are flawed, and in a lot of ways I speak in subtext, but I feel like active listeners are capable of hearing me. With that being said, in the video that people were like, "Oh, that's rage bait." They were like, I said, I don't like Dog Man because it triggers something in my brain that should have been lobotomized. Meaning, I have found a trait in myself that I do not look upon favorably. That trait being primal hysteria. I labeled it Christian and African at first, but that's just dressing. So, hello. I am Wakasa BB ish. Um, yeah. And I make videos on TikTok and people were mad at me. So I'm here to clarify that I wasn't trying to make rage bait. I think the best way I can explain primal hysteria is by using the theory on uncanny valley. They believe that uncanny valley is that we used to see things that were humanoid, but they did not register as humanoid like us, like Homo sapien. So you would see that and it would freak you out, right? And I know that when people heard that, I think they were trying to say, oh, aliens, blah, blah, blah. But no, I think it's because there were other humanoids. They were like, it's not just Homo sapiens, there are other like hominoid things, like the fit net, Mm, Neanderthals, that's the word. Neanderthals used to exist, and they don't look like Homo sapiens. They didn't look like Homo sapiens. And I think it's it's human nature to classify, conflict, divide within, and classify again. Infighting and classification are very are and redefining classifications is inevitable. I'm aware that looking at something that is different than my usual and instantly perceiving it as a threat that must die is a primal functioning that has possibly saved countless of ancestors. The thing is that because humans have a tendency to clash against each other for resources, seeing someone who is not familiar, the instant connection in your brain to go, let's go kill it, is somewhat of a survival tactic, but I'm also aware that that same tactic leads to further conflict, because how about you like put your shield or put your spear down and you have a conversation? Play freaks. I don't know what that is. Anyways, I'm aware that these like the need to classify and war and conflict amongst humans are the same things that have fed into our racism and into our tribalism, our sexism, and our ableism. The battle between the primal mind and the mental and the intelligent mind is what I'm dealing with when I see Dogman. Not to say that my primal mind isn't intelligent, that's what street marks are, but like something about being able to go outside of myself and say, hey, like you can't just vilify something for existing. That's my intelligent mind trying to fight against my primal need to eradicate a possible conflict. I labeled it Christian hysteria because that's what I know coming from an African Christian household, and because we know Christians like to look at everything as if it's ungodly, even things as godly as empathy. It's more of their history than the actual following of the word of Christ. Thank God for long-term content because I can explain myself better here. And in the other video, I said I wanted to start a culture war. So yeah, I filmed multiple videos, and in one of them, I was like, I sort of want to cause a culture war because that's what people tend to do. They get up in arms and they say something isn't like godly and it's like devil worship or something, and then they freak out about it, and then there's a whole culture war. And really, you're just looking at it and it's like, well, no, that's normal, and you should chill and like have fun, right? Careless words, yes, but not words fueled by the desire to be irrational or mad. After watching the ad over and over and over again, I think my brain came to the conclusion that discussing the hysteria I feel would be more entertaining than subjecting myself to the ad. Honestly, uh, I better me to be the face of this Discord than anybody else because I do think I'm relatively rational and I'm super smart. I should be able to unpack my innate need to vilify a cartoon and come out the other side enjoying his presence. But I can't. But I can uh but I can't. My primal mind is still my primal mind is still intelligent. So like the need to vilify something. Chickens. The need to vilify something like the and this is something that I'm unpacking. Like, I can rationalize irrational thoughts because I am smart. I don't know how else to explain. It's like, oh, I don't like this girl because she did blah, 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 blah. These are rational thoughts. Now, could I go, this girl doesn't deserve to be blah, blah, blah? Because of this, that would be irrational, but for whatever reason, I can rationalize it. That's not okay. But like, we can rationalize anything if you're smart enough. You can rationalize anything, and that can be very dangerous. Um, Anyways, my issue with Dogman is the concept of consent, consent, consent. Here's some videos that there have been videos that I've been watching recently. There's a video by like a load of mommy. How is Dogman the devil? I'm still watching him and I'm in college. Dogman is not the issue, far from it. There are actual problems in the world right now. Not sure if you noticed. Anyways, I've been watching some videos that have been like talking about consent, and One of them is like Olay. I don't know how to say her YouTube name, but she makes videos like Olay and Friends. And she made a video about how men became Aziz Ansari. And the other video, I actually don't know the YouTuber, but I think if you search what Olay Enchanted said, what Ella Enchanted says about consent, these are videos that I've watched recently that have been like sort of going around in my head, and I've been thinking about the concept of consent. Anyways, no matter how I see it, I don't think you can, no matter how I try to perceive it, I don't think a human being can be part animal without consent being violated. Whether it's bastardizing acts, magic, or science, the line is always murky, and for that reason, I can't really like say that that's consent. It's really only truly consent if consent can be revoked. So like I gave three options, and I've looked into it, and I even had like notes, had to redo my notes. But the Minotaur's mother was infatuated with a bull, and she dressed up as a cow. Hey, money! She dressed up as a cow. Can that animal consent? You know, it really is like I hope I really like mix my words enough where I'm saying that the interaction of being part animal because a human has tricked an animal, especially since animals, and this is actually something I have been thinking about. I don't like the concept of hookup culture in foreign countries because I don't know how you can really consent if you don't speak the same language. I understand that those are two dramatic ends of something, but the concept of, again, it's truly not consent if you can't revoke consent. So if you're in a situation where you're trying to tell them, oh, I don't actually want to do this, but you can't communicate that, that doesn't feel like proper consent. So that's why I've always had a problem with like not being able to talk, not being able to have a conversation with someone you're hooking up with. And I understand body language, like human to human. We can have body language. You can look someone in the eyes and go, oh, yeah, they're down, right? You can see it in their body. Oh, yeah, they're down. But like also different countries, I'll read that later. Sorry. Different countries have different body language and different cultures. So in my mind, I'm just like, oh, yeah, like even that, like that can be a very blurry line and that seems dangerous. But I do understand. At least we have Google now. We have Google Translate, right? Um, Animals don't speak and animals don't have our bodies, so you can't really tell me that you can't really consent. It's just the truth, you can't. And then one of the things that I was thinking about was like this is like a tangent. It's like, would I feel this hysteria about somebody who has werewolf syndrome? Absolutely not. They are not part animal. They just have a hormone imbalance or something. That is not someone being part animal. And I mean, maybe back in the day, if we didn't understand the concept of hormone imbalances, someone could have looked at that person and said, hey, they're part animal and they have to be, and what that would be problematic. But like, as long as I can register that you're a human being under all the hair, like it doesn't matter to me. And then also, this is the same reason why I don't like BoJack Horseman, because even though they are all intelligent, they speak the same language. To some extent, they're humanoid figures. It makes me uncomfortable. I hate it actually. I hate it so much. With that being said, I know the concept of BoJack Horseman roughly because I like watching people discuss the story, and by that, like podcast. So like I'm hearing people talk about them, right? But I'm not seeing a horse. I'm not seeing a human. I'm not seeing different interactions that make me uncomfortable. And I think this also the like okay, so I called it the Pasiphae because that's the Minotaur's mother. I feel like it's wrong because the same I feel the same way about it the way I feel about bastard children. Like people used to look at bastard children. People used to look at bastard children as if they were the personification of their parents' sin. So I feel like if someone was part animal because of a Pasiphae situation where like you became the Minotaur because of the sins of your mother or your father, that would not be right to like look at that child and say you are evil because of something that your parents did. But I literally cannot rationalize myself out of it. Like if you were part animal because someone had decided to interact with an animal, you would have to go. You would have to go. And the last, I had another example, but this is different because that's witchcraft actually. But like the Minotaur kid from, not kid, the man who was like killed wrongfully in American Horror Story, and he had the animal. head, that made me uncomfortable as well. The third one that I said was magic. That's actually more so the coven one where you do a magic spell on someone, but that's the thing, consent. I said my issue is consent. For the most part, because magic is really fickle and it's not exact, there is a sense that do you know that do you know that you're agreeing to become part animal when this person does a spell? Like maybe you want fast speed, right? So you're thinking you're getting magic shoes, or you're getting a magic potion to make you super fast, but you're gonna keep your body. But then you drink the potion and then they give you half body of like a cheetah. Did you consent to that for real? Did you know that's what you were consenting to? Had you known that's what you were consenting to, would you have revoked it? Are you capable of revoking your consent? So is it really consent? And then the last one is science. And I think science is the only version that could be under the consent. Like that would make more sense for consent. Um, but also it's like, hey, like what if they're doing an experiment on you and you don't really know what the experiment is? Like, can you really consent? Like you're signing up for an experimental what's the word, experimental process on you, but then you don't know that the side effects is that you're going to be part animal. Did you consent to that for real? With that being said, if the doctor knows exactly what's going to happen, right, comes to you, gives you the papers and say, hey, so you will survive this experiment and you will have a better form of life, right, but you will be part animal, and you sign off on the paper, that's literally the only version, right? And what I will say is that I would argue that technically Dogman goes under the category of science. With that being said, the policeman had a head injury, and to some extent, some people, I haven't read the story, and I don't know if I'm ever going to read the story. He has a head injury, right? They're acting as if the man is dead. Apparently, his body gave the thumbs up, so the body consented, but again, he has a head injury. Is he in the right state of mind to consent? Is he in the right state of mind to consent? No. I would argue no. And I think that's what was throwing me off. Also, because I haven't read the story, I would love to know is where's the man's head and where's the dog's body? Is there a man dog running around? I just want to know, like, what is actually the story? Because I understand, like, yeah, no childhood, whatever. Um, but actually, let me read. How is Dogman? Okay, yeah. In the movie canon, Dogman is a character created by two neurodivergent elementary school students. I don't think elementary school students are aware in the slightest about the hookup culture. Dot dot dot. Yes, and I even have a part about this. Because I will like I wrote everything down. You can follow. You can read ahead. And hello. Sorry, I never said hello. Um, is he dead, by the way? Yeah, I was asking, is he dead? I have no idea. Anyways, sometimes I don't. Something I didn't put on the version I posted was there was a monkey that had a head transplant. Like, we have done experiments on monkeys because that's what we like to do, right? They had taken a monkey's head and put it on another monkey's body, right? And they said it was a success, but it did eventually die. Now, I don't know if it was able to move its new body. I don't know if this is an example of rejection. What I can say is that this brings up the topic of rejection and body dysmorphia. Why did the monkey die? And because we can't really talk to animals for real, like that monkey can't really explain itself, like doesn't know that this is not their body. Like are they experiencing a level of body dysmorphia, and are they rejecting the body like the way you could reject a heart from a heart transplant or a lung from a lung transplant? With this being said, because I think of like this is a technically a head transplant, this is a medical situation, right? This also brings a form of hysteria for me because I have come to the conclusion that I can't be an amputee. I've thought of anything that my body can be. I'm gonna get old. There's a possibility that I could get ugly. There's a possibility that I can be fat. And these are things that I have accepted. Like these are things that I can embrace about aging. One that I cannot really embrace is disability, and specifically being an amputee. So the concept of a head transplant really throws me off because it's like losing your whole body, right? And I do recognize that my disdain for being disabled is probably rooted in ableism. I just don't know how to unpack that. I just know that If I were not able to move the same way that I was, it would break my heart. Um, the dog's body died. The dog's body died, and the man's head died too. However, the man's body is still alive, as well as the dog's head. So how did they consent? Yeah, that's what was throwing me off. I was just like, well, his head is all wrapped up. How does this work? And then listen, I understand. I genuinely understand that this is all in good fun. This makes me think too much, so I can't have fun with this. But like, I would please talk about the SpongeBob next. SpongeBob next. Pineapples are not sustainable environments for a sea sponge to live, and they're not supposed to wear pants. Yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Wait, what was I gonna say? Anyways, I genuinely love my body. I might not eat or exercise as well, but between me and but like I genuinely love my body. So the concept of fickly just like transplanting your whole head and like engaging in a new body is just so foreign and so awful. Like I do understand that there are people who have body dysmorphia and people who don't particularly like the way that they look, right? But I genuinely do love my body, and I do like to some extent. Ooh, I have to be a bit quiet. My body only gets to live once. I believe in the high, like the next life. My consciousness will live on, but this is its one and only life. So I think just like to not revere that this is the one life that this body will have is really heartbreaking. And to some extent, I got into reincarnation. I really actually don't want to read into it. I do believe in reincarnation to some extent, but like even when I come back, it's not going to be this body. This body will never exist again. So I think just the concept of like, oh yeah, I just put my whole head on a new body that I didn't just grow up in. Like this is my day one. This body is my day one. And I think it just triggered something that I was just like, this is so sad. Like this is such a horrible concept to just lose your body, to lose your head. Like this is awful. It's like it's actually body horror for me. But also I recognize that if okay, and this is me trying to be rational, right? I recognize that if the research for head transplants continue, it may lead to more beautiful things. With that being said, I called it Christian hysteria for a reason. You can always find a Christian railing against something, and though I hate head transplants, I am not against organ or limb transplants, plastic surgery, or gender affirming care, because those are all sort of under the same umbrella for me. It's like changing the natural. Though I don't want to be an amputee, I could get a lung transplant, I could get a heart transplant. I don't want to be an amputee, but I could do that, right? I like the way I look, but like plastic surgery does not do something in my brain that I'm just like, this is so bad, right? And gender affirming care is life saving care. So that doesn't bother me either. What I will say is that I hate cosmetic veneers. I hate them so bad. As much as I'm just like, yeah, surgeries, that's fine. I hate veneers. I hate veneers. I hate veneers. Real bad. I hate veneers. Sorry, I was just trying to make sure that I read. Anyways, this is the part that's important. I recognize that kids don't see it this way. I'm inclined to believe most adults don't either. I have a list of childhood faves that I thought that I know. I have a list of childhood faves. Faves. I have a list of childhood faves that I know if I thought too hard about, it would ruin my fun. So in fact, I have the list, okay? Because I realized I was just like, wait a minute. Because like this is not, okay, this is the list. My Little Pony Discord. He has like 5 different animal parts. How did that happen? Let's not find out. Right? Beast Boy from Teen Titans. This is another example of science, medical consent going wrong. The baby from the 2 versions that I've experienced, he got sick. He was incapacitated. His mom is trying to save his life. So she shoots him up with some type of virus or something, and now he can change into any animal. Does that sound like proper consent to you? It's not. See, I thought too hard about it. With that being said, I love Beast Boy. I do. Cyborg from Teen Titans. This one isn't part animal, but technically, again, you changed his body in a way that he was not aware. And I understand that it was life-saving procedures, but he did not consent to that, right? Ben 10 is literally a child, and he has something forcibly on him that he cannot remove, that can make him turn into different things. I don't remember the story. I haven't watched Ben 10 in a while. I could probably rewatch it and still enjoy it. But the concept of, hey, this kid, a kid, has something that they cannot remove. And in fact, people are going after him for it. This is a dangerous situation for a child. And in fact, I've talked about the allegory. I think aliens could be a great allegory for SA or like trafficking. I said that the Lilo and Stitch story could easily be that because the foster care system is a bit iffy and stuff. But like also the concept of aliens will abduct you, kidnap you, right? And they do science experiments on you. They probe you. That sounds like SA to me. That's always sounded like it. Like not always because I was a kid, but like now that I look at it, I'm just like this could easily be an easy allegory for SA. Like the concept of kidnapping you, abducting you, doing science probing, and to some extent, sometimes the version of it is like, oh yeah, they're an alien species and they're dying out and they need to reproduce. That's SA. And I think Avatar: The Last Airbender have hybrid animals, and though my rationale is going to be that their evolution is different than our world's evolution, and that's why they all look like that. But technically, I could go down a different route, and it could ruin the fun for me. And Monster High, Monster High werewolves. I like werewolves to some extent. I like vampires. Recently, and I've had videos. There are things that I have logged. I like the Frankenstein aesthetic. I think it's I find it sexy. I find it sexy. Uh, Now that I have had this in my brain, I'm realizing that if I think too hard about it, those are different body parts forced to be together. It's actually really nasty work. It's actually really nasty work. And I'm trying to unpack it because I still love Frankenstein. And there's the new DC TV show, right? And they have the Bride of Frankenstein and she looks hot. Like, I love it. I love the stitch and the patches. I love the aesthetic. I'm realizing that I might not love it for too long because I thought about it and I made that connection. And I'm just like, this is actually icky. And in fact, this is teeter-tottering on engaging with the dead, if I can censor myself. Because, okay, this is my last one. BL preferences, right? I like Omegaverses. Uh, right? I like sometimes like because sometimes they have like humanoid features, humanoid beings with like ears or tails or claws, right? I like ears. I like claws. I don't like tails. I don't like when the whole head is an animal. And in fact, someone in the comments of the TikTok was just like, "Hey, like, Dogman would have been revered as a god in ancient Egypt." And I went, "No, because those are two beings who have been attached together. Those gods are higher beings, and they just morph themselves into having that head. Those are two different things." But also, yeah, there are BLs where they just have a whole animal head. I don't like that. I hate that. I hate that, right? And recently, because this is a tangent off of the Frankenstein thing, someone I have seen two, and I think maybe I've come across a third, but I didn't click it because I something in my spirit said don't click it, right? Where it's zombies, zombie BLs. The hell that has opened up. How many circles of hell is there? There's been a new one introduced because what are we doing? And I said this as if I didn't say I think the Frankenstein aesthetic is sexy. Isn't sexy. I think it is sexy, but now that I know that it's teeter-tottering on engaging with the dead. And in fact, I like vampires. I like vampires. Nothing can stop me from liking vampires. But in some of the lore, they act as if it's just a walking dead body. But yeah, this is me explaining to you that I understand that kids don't think this way. And in fact, most adults don't think this way. And in fact, I have things that if from my childhood, because I wasn't thinking like this when I was a child, that if I thought about it too hard, I wouldn't like. You can take Frankenstein away from me. You can't take vampires away from me. I don't care. I don't care. You can take Frankenstein away from me. You will not take vampires away from me. So I will not hear it. Vampires are not dead. They're not. They're like, they're sort, but no, they're not because I want to have fun. I want to be happy. Anyways, I listed all of this to say, with that being said, most of these medias were against my parents' preference and approval. I grew up in a strict household compared to other Americans. I am no longer Christian. I have to be a bit quiet. And I would have to say my hesitation to embrace the title. I think actually I would go under the category of a witch. And my hesitation to go under the title is because of my upbringing. Nature versus nurture. There are things I will continue to struggle to truly deprogram, but my thinking about my thinking. But the best I can do is be aware of them. The best I can do is be aware of my environmental influences. What did I say? I'm no longer reading. Aren't the only thing I know. I have an opinion for myself. In conclusion, Dogman is a devil abomination that should be hunted down and burned. I hope the kids enjoy the movie because it's all fun. It's all good fun. My kids will be allowed to watch Dogman, by the way. Though I don't get it, if my kids were like, hey, I like this, I want to watch it, they would have to go watch it with their father. That's just the truth. I don't, because I'm going to sit there and I'm going to keep opening my mouth and they're going to be like, Mom, shut up. And I'm going to get it, but also I'm not going to get it because, like, I'm not enjoying this situation. So go with your father. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my live. And to the people who are rewatching it, hi, hi, hi. This was supposed to be filmed, edited, and uploaded as a real video, but I don't have the attention span for that. And in fact, I don't have editors yet. But make sure to like and subscribe. Continue to like. Thank you so much. And also follow me on TikTok so the next time my mind is misinterpreted, you will see it first. And I have an Instagram and a Twitter, and I actually have my link tree right here, somewhere down there, I think. I don't know. And yeah, I'm also selling bolo ties. Happy Valentine's. Oh my God, it's Valentine's. It's almost over. Like, I don't have anybody, so it doesn't register that this is a holiday. But yeah, I have heart bolo ties. I have a Shopify, and y'all are going to see it first. I have this. I haven't broken it in yet, but this is like that pink girl from Garfield. And yeah, thank you so much. All the links are in my bio. I'm probably gonna do another one of these next week. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but yeah, this is me just trying to make y'all understand that I know what I said. I don't like Dogman, and that's okay. And then there's actually nothing wrong with Dogman. That's it. Thank you again. Bye. How do I end this? Should I sing for you while I try to figure out how to end this? La 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 la.